Across the African continent, there are less than 6,000 painted dogs left in the wild. They are critically endangered throughout their range due to loss of habitat and persecution. And even where they occur, their populations are fragmented. And this is why the work of the Endangered Wildlife Trust's Range Expansion Program and Kruger Wild Dog Project are so important.
Please, this stuff of fucking killing my animals, still killing and killing and killing. They've killed this biker now in front of the lodge. I mean, what must I do to get you guys to catch this fucking stuff? You will just come and collect your collar. I mean, if I see them now, they are dead. I mean, so you can come and collect your collar then.
A pack of painted dogs moved from the safety of the Greater Kruger into commercial farming land. And after 3 months and over 30 attempts to safely dart and relocate the pack using traditional capture methods, the Endangered Wildlife Trust's Grant Beverley, with Wildscapes vets Ben Muller and Joel Alves, were forced into trying a unique capture method normally reserved for antelope. And the Painted Dog TV team were there to document and lend a hand. So you see there's quite a lot of stuff going on behind. The guys from Joel and Ben, the vets, and Grant from Endangered Wildlife Trust and the capture team. We're getting ready to try do some drop net capture on 3 wild dogs that are in an area where they're under threat. The guys have been trying to catch these dogs for nearly 3 months. They're very skittish, it's very tough country up here in the Mapanis. So we're hoping that today is going to be the day that we catch all the dogs. Very exciting and of course incredibly important work. The Endangered Wildlife Trust wild dog range expansion and just protecting the dogs that we have when they move into areas where they're under threat, that we are able to find the resources to catch and move them to a safe space. I've been lucky, I've been involved in lots of different captures over the years, and this is the first time that I'll be seeing drop net capture with wild dogs. So I'm very excited, and we'll be there right on the front line, and hopefully we'll be able to catch all 3 of the males and move them off to a safe place. So a lot of people have never seen game capture, let alone curtain capture before, or net capture.
Alright, so basically there's our one corner there. This big old tree is going to be our other corner here. We're going to put a nice flag up for Jerry. Then we're going to put up some drop nets probably on the sides here and the stick stuff and at the back there. And as soon as the dogs come in, Jerry gives the alarm, the gate's closed. We hope to catch them in the net. Once they're in the net, they kind of relax. You can walk up and then from there we'll actually hand inject them and then we can move them to the crates and move them to their next home.
We saw the dogs from the helicopter. They're about 3 kilometers to the west of us, and once we've got the boma set up and some camouflage laid down around the gates, which are going to be pulled closed as we chase the wild dogs with the helicopter into this. And then as soon as they hit one of the nets, there'll be probably 2 people per dog. We'll jump onto the dog, hold it, while Joel and Ben give them a little bit of a sleepy pill or a sleepy injection. And then we'll put them into the crates and move them through to their new home for the next while. So hopefully they're going to only be in the boma for a couple of months. And and then hope they're going to be moving up to EWT's Big Boma in Valkevornden, and then from Valkevornden they could go anywhere in Africa. They could go to Malawi, they could go to Mozambique, they could go to Zambia, they could go to Angola. So very exciting stuff. And is there a reason we're using this particular type of capture?
So effectively, according to WAG SA, we would follow a series of capture methods. The first being the most non-invasive and the most or least stressful would be to try and dart them from the ground on a bait, lure them in using who calls, which we've done many times with you before. And unfortunately, because of the area that they're in, outside protected areas, they've just become incredibly skittish. So I actually, after 25 odd times of trying to find them on the ground, have only seen them once, and you can't get to within 50 meters of them. So that option, which is always the first sort of number one option, was not viable. Then the second option is just to dart them from a helicopter. So Joel Alves spent 3.5 hours in the helicopter trying to dart them.
And that turned into a nightmare. That was a lot of darts later, and they kept running into the little termite mounds, and then we had to leave that dog and go for another one, and we had the spotter plane in the air, so it was a hell of a mission, eh?
But hopefully this morning,
I'm holding thumbs, I think, for all of us if we can get these dogs.
a lot of hours out here.
It'll be a big headache out of our way if we can catch these things, eh?
And what was happening as well, when they were putting pressure on from the helicopter to dart, which you have to get quite low, within 30 meters of the dog, they were just bombshelling. But with a Boma, you've got more chance to keep them together from the helicopter because you're not putting as much pressure. And that's why in this area we've got this open area just before the Boma, because then the helicopter can get low for the final chase into the Boma. So that's the plan.
The siren is going to go, it's going to go whoop, 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 because it's going to, once he comes, but it'll be little bits of the siren, burst of the siren, burst of the siren. Once he's over us,
running cattle, there's two running together, but I think the ones with the collars with the two, the other one is
When working with wildlife, things seldom go perfectly to plan, and immediately the female painted dogs split off from the males, and herding one individual wild dog from a helicopter is near impossible. Thanks to some incredible skills in the air from pilot Jerry MacDonald from Big Game Heli Services, she was ushered into the capture nets, caught and safely immobilized. Then it was time for the boys. When herding animals from a helicopter, herding groups is far easier than individuals, and the boys responded better to the helicopter herding. Bloody maestro, that man, eh?
Okay, let me hold him. Okay. Try and put him on his side.
Okay.
Okay, what? Okay, hold him. Hold him. Okay, don't put too much pressure. Okay.
It's been a long, hard slog. We definitely wouldn't have done this without Jerry and the work to get them into the boma at the end. But you know, just as a technique, it is stressful to chase them in the helicopter and whatever. But these dogs aren't habituated, and we've been trying for 3 months to dart them on the ground, and it just wasn't possible. So this net boma, you know, it's not as a last resort, but just because of how stressful it is, it's just a huge relief that we got all 3 of them together, because if you only get one, then it's really complicated as to what to do with them. Yeah. So remember, wild dogs aren't apex predators. They are essentially mesocarnivores or mesopredators, in that they're lower down in the scale, in the trophic level scale, to lion, leopard, hyena, just from a competition point of view. And that's pushing them outside the boundaries of formal protected areas, which then unfortunately they come into conflict with game ranches or community areas, high people density, and there's actually currently in the greater Hoedspruit area up to 6 different packs, up to 70 dogs. And this particular group of 3 dogs has spent 3 months on this farm, you know, which is a small fenced off area and quite unique in terms of how long they've spent on this farm, because wild dogs roam such large areas. But because they're avoiding lions, it's just this haven for them.
Perfect.
There's high preyed entities and no competition with other competing carnivores. No hyenas, no lions. The odd leopard moves through, but it's the perfect place for them. But unfortunately, then come into conflict with humans.
We definitely noticed from the chopper that they avoided the human habitation completely while we're flying. The female in particular.
Yeah, and then I mean even on the ground, you know, so under normal circumstances with the habituated or relaxed pack with inside a protected area like Kruger, you get to within 15 meters to dart them. After 3 months, I haven't seen these dogs from closer than 50 meters on the ground, and always running. And then even from the helicopter, you know, if you speak to Jerry McDonald, as soon as they see or hear the helicopter, they're running straight away, you know. So that kind of is, with the human-wildlife conflict interface, that's what keeps these dogs alive outside. Is they've learned, they're smart, they avoid people, they move around at night a lot more frequently, and as a crepuscular or diurnal species, we've noticed that from the GPS collars, that they're actually moving around at night a lot more frequently to avoid detection from people.
That's vitamin E.
So these guys are now off to a boma?
Yeah, so they're going to go to a temporary holding facility, a boma. We'll keep them in that boma for a couple of months, and then as part of the meta population and the range expansion, look for a new reserve for them to be permanently released into. So here we've actually got 2 males and 1 female, but this is an adult male and these are 2 sub-adults. So they would effectively be his pups from 2 seasons ago. The female that came into the boma first, she's reaching dispersing age because she can't mate with her father. So she's getting ready to split off from the pack, and that's probably the main reason why from the helicopter she's already going off on her own. She's getting ready to leave him.
She gave Jerry some tricky work today.
Exactly.
But oh, he is so beautiful.
41.3. Okay.
The guys are now stabilizing the dogs. They're a bit hot. You can see Wimpy has just holding the dog's leg up, and that's to keep it cool air through that area where there's a lot of blood vessels. And we're going to be here for about 15 minutes, and while they stabilize the dogs, as we get ready to move them to their next home. I don't think there's any other way to have done dogs in this terrain and a skittish pack like this.
No, 100%. And also, I mean, it's the amount of flying we've done trying to dart them and locate them. If you actually work it out, it's gonna be much cheaper, this option. And I think a lot less stress. You get that all done one shot, and you know it's a lot of work. And I think it's a team effort. Everyone put in so much effort, and I think it's worked out really well. The flying just comes second.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome, bud.
That was absolutely incredible. Obviously, it can look quite stressful on the animals, but it's better than them actually dying. And it is the only way in this really rough Mopani country to actually get the dogs. Some incredible flying by Jerry, some good work by these boys jumping on the wild dogs. So absolutely amazing. Everyone doing their part. These type of operations are only possible due to the dedication and teamwork and tireless hours of work that people like Grant, Ben, Joel and Jerry do. And we're just privileged to support them in any way we can. You can help save the endangered painted dogs by supporting the live collaring on the 6th of December and being a sponsor.